What's up everybody, this is Zoya, the Russian Korean. And today actually I wanted to do a video that's not exactly a react, but more of a response, I guess, because I've watched the video already, and I thought that would be interesting to share my thoughts about it and kind of my takeaway from that video. So the video that I'm talking about is by a League streamer, gamer called Voyboy. To be honest, I had no idea who Voyboy was before I actually saw this video, but in my feed it came up, and the title of the video is The Sad State of League Solo Queue. It came out only a week ago, but already has 1.1 million views, and I'm pretty sure it's still climbing. So when I first saw it, it didn't have a million views yet. It didn't even have 300,000 views yet, but I guess it was kind of trending, starting to pick up. That's why YouTube decided, oh, I think Zoya will be interested in watching this video. And of course, when I see something that says sad, so I clicked. So basically, it's not even like 10 minutes long, but it's Voyboy sitting down, I guess at his home, and just talking about some things. So I thought I would just quickly recap what he's talking about in his video. I'm sure some of you have seen it already, but if you haven't, I'll link the video in the description below so you guys can watch it. But I'm just gonna cover the main points that he talks about, and then kind of share my thoughts on the same issue. So the first thing that he says is he mentions that the state of ranked solo queue is basically on the decline. He says that over the years, it's been getting progressively worse, and that right now actually is the worst time. It actually relates to his second point, which is his personal experience. He's talking about how in season 10, in like the last 5 months or so, he's had the worst experience playing in ranked solo queue, basically because of all the griefers, AFKers, trollers, feeders, you name it, all the I guess the bad folks that you encounter in solo queue. He's talking about how it's been getting really bad, especially recently in season 10. And so he, alongside other League streamers and gamers, they don't enjoy the game anymore, basically. Now, he does mention the fact that he did go to Riot's headquarters and actually discuss the issue, and how he talked about the status quo with them and how it's not really being addressed at all, and how over the years it's just been getting worse and worse. He even says, and again, it relates to his personal experience, but he says that other people experience it as well, but in his personal stream that he does in front of thousands of people, people actually intentionally sabotage his games. They jump on his team in his lobby, and they basically do everything they can to ruin the game, knowing that they will appear in front of all this audience, and there will be basically no repercussions. Voyboy also says that it's not just like one game or, you know, something that is out of the ordinary. It's very consistent. And the fact of the matter is, Riot doesn't do anything really. So because they don't do anything, no one is scared, no one is afraid of repercussions of their behavior, even though it's clearly public. He said in his video that unless you say something bigoted or you curse or something that's clearly wrong in the chat room, like those flag words, I guess, red flag words that you can use in the chat, if you use them, then you have a chance of getting banned. But otherwise, like, you're probably not gonna get banned. So to sum up, he is upset that there is currently, and it's been getting worse and worse with every season, but especially now, there is no respect for other players, no respect for the game, and there's no fear of game bans, and nothing is being done about it, and he is tired of that. He wants to enjoy the game that is basically a major part of his life, and just bring back the joy of, you know, just playing League. And so that's kind of a summary of what he says in the video. He says some other things in there, so I'll leave the link in the description. You can go check it out for yourself. But when I watched it, I kind of, you know, I thought to myself, what do I think about this? And truth be told, I don't think this just applies to ranked. Like, it gets amplified, I guess, in ranked because your promotions and everything is at stake there. But I think it applies to normal games too. I think a lot of other YouTubers also made responses to his video, and they kind of share their thoughts. I took a look in the comment section and just saw that many people agree with what he has to say. And a lot of those people have been playing for many years, and a lot of them actually quit because of this problem. Because it's just like when the community is so toxic and the game is just a big pile of stress, like, why would you play it? Like, for most people, we just go to work or, I don't know, go to school and then just play a little bit of League, like, you know, have fun. And it's really, it shouldn't be such a negative experience that I guess it is currently. Like, I'm pretty much a brand new player. And even I, as a brand new player, can completely relate to what he's saying. Initially, when I started, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get to like level 30, I'll get my champs and stuff, and then I'll try ranked. But the more I played it, the more I kind of felt like, I don't know, not just intimidated, but more like scared of the kind of toxicity that's going to happen there, just because I'm kind of not used to it. I did stream my first 2 ranked games, and actually it wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad at all, actually. It was fine. But, you know, my experience is not necessarily everyone else's experience, so I'm not gonna, you know, just go off of how it is for me. But I just kind of wanted to talk about the problem, I guess, and where I think it's coming from. Of course, there are some, like, obvious reasons that are really not controllable at all. Like, some people, they just really had a bad day or something, or they're really salty by nature, and when they go into the game, they are there to destroy everybody else's day. In the words of Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes, nothing helps a bad mood like spreading it around. So of course there are those kinds of factors that just like, you can't really do anything about that. Other people's character and mood and, I don't know, temperament, like, you can't control, there's nothing you can do, it's just them. And, you know, you're not just going to discriminate against people just because of, you know, their, I don't know, anger control issues or something. Like, it's their problem. They really should take responsibility for it. It's not your or Riot's job. But there are other factors, I think, that are kind of a little more controllable. And I think those are the things that really will help to alleviate the problem, or at least help to make the experience, the overall experience, better than it is right now. So one thing that I thought about, and perhaps maybe somebody else mentioned it in their response, but I just thought about it myself, and I thought, well, if you think about it, like, the thing that makes ranked is it's competitive, right? Like, there are visible results to performing better. So if you really don't have that kind of competitive drive, like, I want to get better, I want to climb the ranks, I want to improve my skills, if that's not something that you have as a goal, you're probably not even going to play ranked. I think most players actually don't play ranked. And so if you are somebody who thinks about or wants to play ranked, then you probably have that mindset even a little bit. And so when you go into it, you want other people to feel the same way and to be on the same page, as in, we're all competitive here, so we're trying to do our best. So that should be the underlying standard, right? But the problem is, I think, is that it's not a solo performance. Like, it's a solo queue, but it's not a solo performance. It's teamwork. Unless you're this challenger who's smurfing in low elo, like, probably you will need all 5 people to make the game successful, right? That's most of the time. But it takes literally one person to ruin everyone else's experience. And if you think about other competitive activities, or let's say other sports, right? Most of them happen in person. They're not online. So there's already that factor of, you know, personally encountering somebody. So you wouldn't really intentionally try to ruin your team's experience in person, because that would be just socially really unacceptable. And you will see repercussions right away. There's actually a physical threat. Not necessarily that it will actually happen, but there's a physical threat of harm. If you, let's say, show up to a soccer game and you're on your team and you're intentionally making your team lose. Like, I don't know, unless you really want to get a beating that day, you're probably not going to do that. In addition, there are referees and coaches and other people, spectators, who will definitely catch on and they will eliminate you right away. Maybe physical threat was a little too much. There is a threat of elimination from the activity completely. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But with League, And really any other game that is similar in nature like that, where you have a solo queue but you perform as a team. A, you're not encountering each other physically, so you don't have that, accountability. B, there are no referees to keep you in check. C, even if you do something, even if there are spectators, like Voyboy mentions, they can't do anything about it, right? Because they're not physically there, you're not physically there. They might say trash about you in the chat or something, but in the end, what's gonna happen? You can just jump on the next game and do the same exact thing, and no one's gonna say anything about it or no one's gonna do anything about it because they're really, even if they say something or report you or whatnot, you're not gonna get banned unless you, I don't know, commit a crime or something. So in that sense, solo queue is like this competitive team sport. It has attributes of a competitive team sport, but doesn't have any checks or balances or preventative measures, really. And honestly, I thought about what can I suggest? What can be a good solution? There really isn't. It's actually pretty hard to come up with a wholesome solution that wouldn't discriminate against anybody, that would provide everyone equal opportunity to, try their best. At the same time, try to punish those people that are clearly there to ruin everyone else's experience. I really don't think there is a black and white solution to this, and I'm sure most people understand it. That's why, as of right now, there really isn't any preventative measure for that. On the other hand, I do think there is hope. I think change starts from within, and the one way to start to make a change in the overall vibe of the community and the actual gameplay experience is to start with yourself. Serve by example. So just kind of ask yourself, am I ever flaming in the chat? Am I ever feeling like I just want to quit? Do I just keep blaming my teammates every time I lose? Is there something that I can do better? Do I ever give up and troll just because I don't like what that person is doing or how they're playing or they're not listening to me or blah, blah, blah? Those kinds of things. I think the more individual people make an effort to not just work on their own attitude, but also try to create a more positive experience during the game, even if it's, it feels unfair, why am I the one who has to do this? Because I don't usually do that kind of stuff. It's other people and they will never repent for what they're doing. And yeah, that's true. You're probably right. They will probably never understand that what they're doing is just wrong. Or they probably do understand that it's wrong, but they still are gonna do it. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. Not you, not Riot. And so with that being said, rather than waiting for Riot to do something about it, the change needs to start from the community itself. And the community itself cannot change unless individuals change. So yeah, these are just kind of my thoughts about it. And, I'm a newer player. And so for me, of course, my experience has been quite different than, let's say, for someone who's been playing for multiple seasons. Perhaps someone like Voyboy would understand, sees clearly the progressive decline, whereas, I jumped in at the time when it's the worst time ever, apparently. And I definitely feel it when I play. If this was every game, I probably wouldn't want to play anymore, But at the same time, and maybe it's just me, maybe it's just the way I handle things, but I personally think that no matter where you are in life, it can be work, it can be school, it can be your family, and it can be playing a game. Anywhere in life, you will have those kinds of situations where you will deal with people that really don't care about others at all. And I personally believe that how you handle them is totally up to you. What they're doing, their attitude, and how they try to ruin everyone else's experience is their problem. But how you approach that problem, how you approach that situation and that person, I believe is up to you. You have that choice, that decision to, either follow along or not fall for it and create an atmosphere or create a culture or create a relationship where you do what is right. And as difficult as it is, you try to make it better. If not for everybody, but at least for yourself. Because even as a new League player, I can already tell that actually the ones that are in charge of the game, so to say, are not necessarily Riot, as weird as it sounds, but the community. they are the ones that are in control of the overall gameplay experience. Because Riot, yes, they make the game and they give you all the Lux skins and all that, but in the end, the players are the ones that interact with each other that actually make gaming happen. Because if they weren't there, then what's the point of League? And so if the community is in charge, that means they're also in charge of their own vibe, their own culture. I basically would say, let's start with the community, let's start with ourselves, try to serve by example, and rather than just necessarily blaming Riot for their lack of activity, which I'm not justifying, but I'm saying I just don't think it's very productive. Like, instead of doing that mostly and just continuing with our day and just moving on and accepting what's going on, take control of your own situation. And I understand that you can take control of your experience, but unfortunately your experience is also tied to 9 other people's experience in a solo queue game. And so yes, you will have people who, they will not change. You can't do anything about it. But if we can at least overall work on, I guess, community ethics and culture, then I think it should see some improvement. And the issue, if it still continues, it probably will still continue. At least you will have a better mentality and a better approach, a better positive approach to the experience. Anyways, guys, that's just something that I thought I would share. Just some of my thoughts. I'm sure that some people may disagree with me, but maybe some of you agree. What do you guys think? Please share your thoughts in the comments. I personally think that it's great that Voyboy kind of talks about it, and I'm sure other streamers have talked about it too. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily like brave or, revolutionary or anything, but at least, he's bringing the discussion to wider audience, and hopefully something will be done about it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Please hit the bell so that you know when my next video is coming out. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm not too active on Instagram, but I do try to do things on there. Anyway, if you're interested, you can follow me. Hopefully we'll continue to enjoy League together. This was Zoya, the Russian Korean. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.